Alright, welcome viewers. Welcome to round number 8 of Season 2 SWE. We're here at Silverstone in Britain, like I said, for round number 8. Currently have 17 drivers in the lobby today, so it's going to be an exciting one, heading down into turn 1 for the start of the race. Obviously 17 drivers around Silverstone, although it is one of the longest tracks on the circuit, on the calendar I should say. 17 drivers can get a bit hectic. But anyway, before we start, as usual, I just want to remind everyone that the link to the SWE website is in the description below. Like always, just click on the link, you can find all the standings, rosters, everything like that. It's all on that link below. So as you can see, in qualifying, as of track layout, Britain is one of the longest ones, especially when it comes to the pit lane. A total of 38 seconds the drivers will have to endure at least once in the race. Tyre strategy, it's pretty easy. It's usually just a one stop. Softs and then onto the hards is probably the best option. But if you want to be more aggressive, you actually, when I'm saying that, you might be able to pull off just a one stop on the softs and then mediums. I'm not entirely sure, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But anyway, track length 5.9 kilometers, almost 6 kilometers in total track length. Drivers pass 150,000 fans on the side of the circuit as they go around the track. First Grand Prix held at Britain was back in 1962, so it's one of the historic tracks, and rightly so. Obviously you've got Maggots and Beckett's at the start of the third sector, Cops. All of these corners are sure to be packed full of juiciness as, like I said, 17 drivers hit the track here for round number 8. As of the drivers in the session, Busen in the Ferrari, you can see he's already on pole position. He is looking to be one of the favourite drivers in the session, I would believe. At the practice session earlier, he was the fastest, got a 1:26.1, I think his fastest time was, or no, a 1:26.3, so you can see that pole time at 26.2 is already starting to come down. So I'll be surprised if anyone is able to match him, but we'll see what the times are like further on into the session. So it's Busen currently, 5 minutes to go on a 26.2, that's pole time right now. Behind him, SWE in that Mercedes sits in the pits currently. He sits behind him on a 26.4. And then Walbeige, I'm not sure how you say that name, or that gamer tag I should say, sits in third place in the Red Bull, and then behind him Boastman, actually in the Williams today, gets the second row of the grid. So our championship leader today, he's not here right now, he's at another league. They're racing at Spain, but anyway, championship leader TRL Montana is not going to be racing round number 8, so we'll see how that shakes up the standings. The person in second place is SWE, and he currently sits 53 points behind that Williams driver. So although I'm just working out, White can't take the championship from him just now, but considering that Montana isn't here, this is a perfect opportunity for White to get some points on the board against the Williams, so it'll be interesting to see what he makes of it. Obviously second place will get him 18 points, so that'll move on closer to about 35 points behind, and then it will be a dash to the finish for the last 2 rounds of the season. We go to Italy next week for round number 9, and then we round off the season in France for round number 8. So some new drivers in the league right now. Chief in the McLaren there. Behind him, Ermenda is a reserve driver just now. I don't think he sits on the standings right now, he doesn't. But he has had a race. I'm not sure when that was. I think it was Germany actually back in round 4, I think. But anyway, Pace Sven in McLaren, he's actually retired. You can see he's in P11 right now on the graphic on the left side of the screen there. It says in P11. Pace Sven also making his league appearance here, although it is not his first. He comes back to the league this week. So 3 minutes to go then here in qualifying. Obviously the drivers will be heading into the pits, get a fresh set of tyres on the car, and then it's one lap wonders. Obviously track evolution, track gets a little bit hotter, a little bit more grip, and the drivers start to get more comfortable with how the car reacts in these sort of conditions. So you can see all the drivers will be coming out of the garages for the last couple minutes of qualifying, and obviously all of them trying to get as high up the grid as possible. Haas driver almost getting obstructed by Jamie coming out the pits, but he does a good job to just pull over and let him pass. So we'll hang on board with Pellegro on this lap. Down Wellington Straight into turn 17 and 18, Brooklands and Luffield. Tricky corner actually. This Luffield corner, turn number 18, it's all about getting the balance of going out wide and staying to the track apex, because the run down the national pit straight is quite a long one, so you really want to get the best possible exit out of there. Magus and Beckett's obviously classic, really hard to get right. Right, left, takes you on to the hangar straight. Second DRS zone of the lap. Actually this year in 2018, or last year I should say, we saw the introduction to the DRS zone on the pit straight. Actually caught out Marcus Ericsson last year at the Grand Prix, so we'll see if any drivers are going to be taking advantage of that in the race. But anyway, coming up to the line, Pellegro gets a whole second off his time, but it's not improved him anymore. He sits in 10th place in the stand-ins. Further ahead, Pizigabusen comes across the line. I think this is his flying lap. But as I was on with Pellegro, SX White is actually better that time, and he sits 1/10th ahead of this Ferrari driver, and it's actually raining right now, so I wouldn't be expecting any kind of improvement. So it looks like SX White is actually going to steal the pole position from Pizigabusen. There you go, he retires from the session, as I would presume would all the other drivers. So there's not going to be any improvement due to the weather conditions. So SX White in the Mercedes takes pole position here in Britain. We'll see how that does in the race, but you can see there everyone's kind of given up. Obviously in these kind of conditions, there's no way you're going to come anywhere near to the lap times that you would get in the wet. So this is pretty much our final standings. SX White in the Mercedes with a 1:26.1 flying lap time there from him. We'll see if he can hold that top spot on the podium to start catching TRL Montana in the standings. But obviously Pizigabusen actually sits 10 points behind his teammate. Sits in 4th place in the championship standings, so obviously he, as well as everyone else in the race pretty much, will be looking to get their car as much points as possible in the session. So it's Pizigabusen with a 26.2, 3/10ths behind him, Gennaro in the Haas. Wallbeige, I don't feel like I'm saying that right. We'll just call him Wally from now on, I suppose. Anyway, Wally sits in 4th place, 26.7. Also on a 26.7, Villi and the Ferrari, 26.8, 27 flat, 27.4. So all the drivers are pretty packed in, at least for the top kind of 9 or 10. Well, not really, to be honest. Yeah, it's a fair spread. So looks like we're going to have a front runner battle between SX White and Pizigabusen for the top spot of the podium in this race. And there's a lot of drivers in the midfield that I wouldn't be surprised to see kind of argy-bargy as the race gets underway. Here you go, final standings. So 26.1, and then as we go down to the midfield, it kind of gets to the late 26s. So you can see here from 4th place all the way down to about 8th. There's a spread of about 7/10ths. So yeah, it's a little bit spread out, to be honest, but we'll see how that comes out in the race. Chief all the way down the bottom of the grid, 10 seconds behind anyone, or the front runner I should say. Full wet conditions in the race. It's going to be exciting. I wonder if these conditions are going to stay throughout the whole race. If they are, then it's going to be quite a miserable session, if I'm honest. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so SWE for the first time this season leads us away on the formation lap here at Britain for round number 8. Full wet conditions. I'm not sure, as a spectator, I'm actually not allowed to see the weather forecast for the race, so I'm not sure if these conditions are here to stay, but I suppose only time will tell. For the start of the race, as usual, I'll just stick to the top 4-ish, because 17 drivers in one race can get a bit hectic when there's only one spectator. So yeah, I'll start off by just sticking to the top 4, top 5, just sticking to the racing really, and then as the race kind of settles down, everyone calms down, starts to get a little bit of a gap. That's when I'll move towards the back of the pack and see what's happening. But yeah, everything there's on the left side of your screen on the graphic, so you can kind of tell when somebody's had an incident, because obviously if they go from 9th place to 17th place, then yeah, they've had a bit of a spin or something. So just keep an eye on the left side of your screen. So the drivers line up for the 8th time this season. There was actually a patch, I think it was yesterday, or maybe today. So hopefully we'll see if it sorts out the glitch that there might be a delay in the start. There is. So for me it's lights out, but the drivers won't get away until now. So it's lights out and away we go. Seems like a good start for SWE. Bezigabusen struggles to control the wheel spin, but he's going to keep 2nd place for now. Into turn 1 we go. Billy's around the outside of Wally. A little bit of contact between Silas and Wally, and the Red Bull. He's going to go up the inside, a little bit aggressive. Billy wise to it though, gives him space. He's going to keep 3rd place for now. Silas is up the inside into turn 4. Boseman getting a little bit of a touch up the rear from someone. Pelago goes around the outside as Mills slots up the inside. Boseman's going to get the cut back as we head down the Wellington Straight into Luffield we go then. Mill looking for a bit of a cutback, but it doesn't seem like it's going to come to anything. Up ahead, Silas is looking to get Dancy with Billy. Into Stowe then for the first time in the race. The drivers are not going to be used to these wet conditions, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see people sliding off, pushing off the track limits, getting penalties, things like that. Into Maggots and Beckett's will be with Pelago for this one. A little bit of a train up ahead. You can see everyone's kind of sliding. Pelly grows onto the grass. He's collected Boseman on the exit. So is Mill. He's caught up in the tangle. Looks like there's a 3-driver collision there on the Hangar Straight. See if we can get on board with some of them. Boseman is actually out of the race. And Mill and Pelago have dropped pretty much right back to the bottom of the grid. So it was Pelago who initially spun off into the grass, and on the re-exit or re-entry to the track I should say, Boseman and Mill just got collected, so unfortunate for them, but we'll get back to that in a minute. SX White still leads the race, actually a 2.6 second gap to Bizigabusen behind him. Third place is Villy, the 2 Ferrari boys both on the podium, so looking for some good points here at Britain. Silas is looking for a way around the outside. He actually gets it done. Down the Wellington Straight we go then. Into Brooklands we go. Keep it clean boys. Silas is going to go around the outside, and he takes the podium spot off of Villy. Through Luffield we go. Wally's looking for a way around the outside. A little bit of almost a little bit of contact there. Keep it clean boys, keep it clean. Into Cops, the old turn number 1. Through Maggots and Beckett's, Boseman has left the session. Not surprising. Carlson has retired from the race. I'll see if we can find out what's happened. Looks like he's went off somewhere at Stowe, or Cops I should say. I'll get back to that in a minute. Further up ahead, Silas is creeping in behind Bizigabusen for that second place. Wally also on the gearbox of Villy. All the drivers are pretty much already spread out. You can see on the graphic there, pretty much all of the drivers except from Pelago is pretty much spread out, almost a 3-second gap between all of them. So Pelago obviously the one to spin out a few laps ago. He's back up into 9th place, so we'll see if he can make any advancements on that current position. Goes wide. Is it going to cost him some time? I think it is. I'm not sure if that would have given him a penalty or not. Dreamon, who was that was off the track? Somebody was off the track. Was I seeing things? Wally's left the session. I don't know if that's a disconnect or if he's actually left. We'll see what happens later on, if he joins back or not, but I'm sure I've seen somebody off the track. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, SX White still holding that top spot. The gap now extended to almost 4 seconds on lap 3. 26 laps to do in this race, so quite a lengthy Grand Prix. Obviously this is only 50%, so in the real life it would actually be 52. Quick maths there. Already all the drivers are completely spread out. Bizigabusen in 2nd place then, Silas behind him. The Ferrari going a bit wide into left field, but that gives them a pretty decent exit onto the pit straight. Here we go then. Wally looks like he's... oh no, he's not. I thought he reconnected to the session there, but he's still ghosted. So I'm assuming that he's actually just left the session for whatever reason, because he was actually in 4th place, I believe it was. So he was on for some decent points there, but nonetheless. There is yellow flags. Pellegro has left the session, so I'm assuming that is him. He's left the session again. What am I saying again for, but I don't know. So that's another retirement. Ultimate retired from the station also. We'll go on board with Mel, see if we can see his car. Looks like that is there on the left. He's pulled over by the looks of it. So Ultimate also out of this session. Gennaro is in the pits, and he has been for the last 5 laps. So already on lap number 5 we have 6 retirements. Gennaro, for whatever reason, he's not actually retired, he's just in the pits, but I can't spectate him for whatever reason, so we'll just ignore him. Boseman obviously got collected on that lap 3, I believe it was, the lap 3 incident on that hangar straight. Carlson, also a retirement for him. Ultimate is also out of the session, and then Pellegro and Wally all retiring before lap 6 or lap 5 as well. So further ahead we'll stick with Silas now, because he's hanging on to the Ferrari driver. Obviously in these conditions there is no DRS, so drivers are pretty much equal apart from the effect of slipstream, but nonetheless it does make it harder to overtake. So we'll see if he can just hang on for now. Obviously still got another 20 laps to do, so it's not all just a 1 lap race, so consistency is going to be a big factor in the next half an hour.
Livestream.